and hit record. And we'll get started. I think, like I said in the post, we'll go back to meeting every other week, and that way we can hopefully hop on those Team Hope calls again, and I won't be so overwhelmed with planning calls. And I don't know, today I feel like I'm lucky I'm still here, but I am. And I'm not getting sick, and Holden's not getting sick, and Tyler's not getting sick, and we're all going to be healthy the rest of the summer. So that will just continue that every other schedule until we need to alter it, and then we'll decide like this fall if we want to bump back up to 8:30 or not. His eyes are creepy. Okay. I can't look at him. You're cute. All right. I'd like to Shannon's not on, but I'd like to give a shout out to Shannon and Tyler for participating in our coach boot camp. And it is not over yet, but they have honestly probably shown up in it more than I have. Somehow after Summit and getting sick, I just got off track, but I hope that they have enjoyed the information. And I kind of have some news about how we're going to do that again too. And I want to spend some time on this call focusing on small wins, and also to recognize Tyler. He actually sold a Shakeology order, but we didn't get the credit for it because the person didn't order through him. And then when Tyler asked them if they wanted to change the order, they're like, no, if I like it, I'll do it next time through you. Oh, I suppose I should have. And Tyler sent him the link and everything. So he is like helping a lot of people. It's just not showing up in the office. He has a lot of people that are like messaging about how much weight they've lost by just changing little things in their diet or starting to walk. And so just remember that even if they do not always translate into points and dollars, us just by sharing our own journey is helping other people. And eventually that's going to build enough trust in what we do that people are going to be curious for more. Tyler, do you have anything else to say about that? All right. I am still trying to brainstorm what we can call our groups. I've had a lot of messages from people, and Tyler has had a ton from people saying they do not like groups. They don't want to be part of a group. And I got to thinking about that, like that's the part I liked the best. And I don't think it's just guys. And I think like trying to transition people off Facebook into the app will help, but we need to think of something else to call it. And I don't like what I chose for this month, Fit Community, because I think it makes it sound, and I've already had someone ask me, like, I live in Oklahoma. Is there something I can do there? Which does open up a door for a conversation. But if you guys could just be brainstorming of what we can call it. Like Kristen uses a mission, and every month she runs the same challenge group every month, but she's military, so like mission makes sense. But like she has a July mission, an August mission, a September mission, and they're just 30-day groups, and they're just the same, but they're these missions. So like she doesn't do themes or whatever, but her brand is missions. She really thought like our Be Flawsome thing would take off, and that would be like our thing. And it just didn't, and I don't know. Like she just thought it was such a cool hashtag. She thought it would be like all over. So I'm really trying to think of something we can call our groups that like let people know we're taking it off Facebook onto an app, and it like can just be a place of accountability, like to log your shake and your workout. I think kind of the days where we have like hundreds of comments on a post are kind of probably over until things change again. And that's okay. So we need to change with it. So if anyone has like an idea of what the heck we can call these groups, not just like when we're talking, like when we're like showing like, oh, here's my next group, but like also like I try to do like a soft sale at the end of like all of my workout or nutrition posts. Like I don't know if you've just been if you happen to read my post, like today I talked about how ridiculous the day was, and then I ended with, but I'm not alone in it. I have accountability. is now the time for you. This is what I have coming up. Instead of like sharing about my groups every 2 days with like, oh, here's a challenge group post. I find like I get more traction with like that soft sale at the end of a group, but end of a post, but I just need to know like what else we can call it. For August, it's Fit Community, but I'm not sold on it. I have been meeting with Kristen again monthly, and we talked about some things for the future. One thing that she said is really helping her coaches, and she has a ton of coaches right now that are just taking off. But she's having them read that book, Push by Chalene Johnson, and I haven't read it, but if you know anything about Chalene, and this is actually kind of how she started, was by doing these 30-day push goals, which is where her 30-day push journals come in, if you've heard of those on her podcast. And that is actually how a lot of her coaches got to Emerald, was their push goal, and then all their activities align with that. And it does also have like a health and nutrition and fitness aspect, so it's good for beginning people. So if you have new coaches, this is kind of like the 3 and I need to order Push professional development books we recommended, and kind of in this order too is Push, then The Compound Effect, and then Girl Code, because it ties in all components of coaching in 3 books. So like essentially like 3 months in, if they read a book a month, they would know about goal setting. They would probably already have achieved Emerald because that would be their push goal. They would understand that like small changes over time compound. And then Girl Code, obviously Tyler as a guy coach, they probably wouldn't read Girl Code, but the community aspect. And I really like that idea, because I think sometimes new coaches just get so frustrated they quit before they've even built up momentum. We plan on reworking the boot camp again, but doing it differently and doing it like month 1, I'm focusing on vitals, and then month 2 on inviting. And then if new coaches want to join it, a lot of her coaches are joining it, but they haven't finished the, what's it called? Getting Started Right self-paced group. We're thinking like that has to be a requirement. Like you've had to work through the days before you're going to go on and learn about like posting and stuff, because it's just too overwhelming. And then I don't know if any of you guys have tuned into like Josh Coates webinars, but in the Art of Recruiting, he suggested that's how we do like our coach opportunity events, like when we do those like squad goals or all of those different things. And he said like to do a webinar, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I would have no idea how to do that, and how would we do it together? But Tyler actually knows a way how like more than one of us, I don't know if it can only be 2 people, Tyler, can go live like on a split screen from like, she could be in South Dakota and I could be in North Dakota, and we would be like running a live event for Team Fierce and Team Game Changers, but like just going live on Facebook, just like he does. So that's something we're working on for this fall. I also had a call with corporate because I am trying to earn a spot at New Leaders Conference, which actually now I have earned my spot because they reduced the requirements in half, which I'm excited about because I get to go, but I'm bummed about because I want to like keep pushing and like, I don't know. So it's attainable for all of you too. Now the requirement is 1 star. And then if you have 30 elite points, your room would be paid for. And before it was 2 star and 30 elite points, and then 60 points to have your room paid for. So it looks like I get to go to, thought that was a person. Like it looks like I get to go to LA in February. So I am excited. And for what I'll bring back too. But on that call, we talked about a lot about, she asked me like about my summit takeaways, which is what I want to talk about tonight. And I said, like, I have been overcomplicating this. My coaches have been overcomplicating it. I've been overcomplicating like training of it, which I'm excited for Annie and Lauren's new 5-day training. They're doing it as a course. So I think it'll be similar, like Stacy might know what this is, like kind of like Google Classroom. I'm guessing like where you can work for yourself through the 5 days. And then also as a coach, you would know where they are in those 5 days. So it's off Facebook. And then also if any of you are interested in Team Cup Month, Team Impact is doing a Go for No challenge in August. And I don't know if you saw the post, but I can tag you in it. But they're doing some training on that. And I thought that would be good for those of us who, last month I had a lot of people on the fence. I was talking to Stacy about this, and they just never pulled the trigger. And then eventually they tell you no, 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 and they keep pushing it back. And so they're recommending the book Go for No for that. It's not really a group, it's just a challenge they're doing team-wide. But Sydney from corporate talked about how to convert discount coaches. And basically, like, I don't know if Tyler said this at Summit, but the only difference between a discount coach and a working coach is someone who does personal development. It doesn't even really have anything to do with inviting. It's that like mindset switch, and that you're working on yourself, not just on the outside, but on the inside. And I'm like, I have like 40 discount coaches or more between Tyler and my offices. And she's like, so what are you doing with them? I'm like, nothing. They go inactive, they get active. They go inactive, they get active. And so she really recommended for us, just as coaches, people need to know when they go to our page that we're a coach. They can come to us to lose 10 to 15 pounds by Labor Day, and that we lead with being a coach first and like our CEO hat second. Like, and I know I've gotten away from that because I just like prefer like the leadership side. So she said there's 3 steps to converting discount coaches, and it's like sounded so easy. Like honestly, every discount coach could be diamond just by helping 8 to 12 people. And if you think about, that's pretty much just your friends and family around you. And so she said, ask them if they like, after they've like completed a program, ask them, did you like your transformation? By then you're going to know, did you like your Shakeology? Do you need me to help you change the flavor or modify your order? And 3, do you like a discount? And that's all I told her. That's a little different for us, for like in North Dakota, because a lot of them already have the discount. And then from there, can I help you share your transformation? And you would just help them write a post and post it. And like, that's how I got started. I got started with 5 friends who wanted to do a clean eating group. And that blew up into what it is today. And so I think so for August, I picked as a goal to try to help like 2 what are now discount coaches help get their Shakeology paid for by helping at least 2 family members, friends or family members. So that is it. That was kind of all I had to share from the last couple of weeks since being back at Summit. Super Saturday, there's still nothing in Minneapolis, so I need to talk to Val about what we should do for September, because it's creeping up September 23rd, and I could be back in the classroom if I don't get out of my sub job by then, because she's due the first week in October. So I told her I couldn't sub before then, but I don't know how that works or when they'll call me. But so that is that. On our Surge to Summit, there wasn't many people on, and then my plan was to follow up with all of you and like, I know what your post-summit action plan was and what your biggest takeaways were. And there was so much information released on Summit. That's pretty much what we talked about the last team call on the 19th. So I would just be curious when we do like our What's Working Wednesday for everyone who was at Summit, which is all of us, just like we were there together, but we all took away different parts. I just would be curious in hearing, one, what's working for you since then, and what your biggest aha moment from Summit was. And I can go first. And it was just that I am overcomplicating things. I need to get my results first. I haven't gotten results since March. My body is my business. I need to do my workout, drink a shake, improve my nutrition, read a book, and go back to saying hi to people, because I pretty much quit doing that for 3 to 4 weeks in June and July, because I just got like so paralyzed on what to do on Google Streak, and I just threw all the money I spent on Streak away and went back to paper and pencil, and I'm much happier. I like what I'm doing again, and I probably will need to convert again someday, but right now was not the time for me. it's funny because I was going back and reading notes from 2 summits ago, and I'm like, gosh, I feel like I learned so much more 2 summits ago. But it's just our ears are ready to hear different things at different times. And this year, I just needed to hear. Simple. So that is mine.
I can go next.
Sweet.
There was so much that I took away from Summit, and I think so much of it kind of hit home for me. But what really stuck with me was when Shalene was talking about posting stuff that made people want to ask more. Because I think sometimes I post too much and I share too much information. And I sometimes wonder with like my invites to groups if I'm posting too much with that. You know, find a different way, a more creative way to kind of post about that kind of stuff rather than showing everything that they're going to get and the dates and all of that. And at least then there's some conversation within the post. Because typically there's not much to ask after that unless they really don't understand how it's set up. But so I'm trying to think of how I can do that differently. And then another thing that I'm trying to remember when I'm posting that we kind of heard at the Power of I Am, the 3 of us did, how she said, telling stories, but like keep a journal of different ideas, because I know we all have stuff running through our heads. There's times we're like, oh, I should post about this, and then it's out the window if I don't have my phone with me or whatever, but just kind of keeping a journal. But she said, is it inspiring? Is it informative? And is it entertaining? Kind of sticking with those 3 things. Because I think those 3 things can kind of cover everything. Cover coaching, cover our groups, cover transformations, cover our niche, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I had. And then some.
That curiosity marketing is so funny because when I found the slides from last year's summit and I posted them on Saturday, a lot of them were relevant, but there was whole sessions on attraction marketing, and like now that's not working. So for sure. Someone else want to go?
Okay, fine, I will. Part of why I'm so dedicated to my transformation right now is because of what they said at Summit. I want to do it for me first, but also I think it'll help my business when I have a huge transformation, because it's a little different for guys than it is for women. Women, you lose weight, and that's kind of a huge attraction. It's not enough for guys to lose weight. We also need to look very different. Otherwise, guys don't want to do it. You know, they'll just say, "Oh, I just won't eat as much. I can lose weight doing that. I don't need to do what you're doing." So it's a mindset thing that they have to see huge transformations. So that's kind of why I'm another layer to why I'm pushing so hard with that. But more than that, of course, is personal development. I keep calling it the teacher term. And that's like huge for me because the first book I read when I started this was GoPro. And in that, he talks about when someone fights back with network marketing being their issue, all you have to say is, you have a story. Can I hear it? Because so many people have been burned by network marketing somewhere along the way. If that's their no, then it's interesting. So I just spent an hour this weekend talking to a guy who has an issue with network marketing. Well, it turns out he was on Thrive and was basically trying to sell it and is not a salesperson, but was being forced to sell. So now he hates network marketing. So I did have to put him in the not right now column, but at least I know why not right now, because I was able to say, you have a story, instead of getting all defensive about network marketing is not that bad and why do you hate it? It just, you have a story, tell me about it. He was willing to share that. So those types of things, when you do enough personal development, you can just recall them immediately. And going back and listening to some of these books 2 or 3 times is another one, especially when they're on Audible. Because some, like Lindy said, with the ears are ready to hear different things at different times. and then it's ready to be recalled. So that's my biggest takeaways, I suppose.
I feel like I love with the personal development book. Blessing, honey.
It's not a bad thing.
Different aha moments.
I don't know. It's hard for me because I had such an amazing time and there was so much information and I heard so many inspiring and amazing things, and I thought that I would come back with like my fire back, and I came home and I came back to life and I didn't have my fire back, but I'm getting there. I guess my biggest takeaway was just like these people are just like us. You know, they all started somewhere. They've all had the same struggles as we've had as far as I really like the spouse panel because they all struggled with the same things that I know we all struggled with, or most of us did anyway. And gaining that trust and getting our spouses to see the light as far as what this is doing for us mentally, physically. So yeah, I mean, that was something that that was cool that they brought the spouses in.
And it was funny. I don't know if you guys follow Deidre Weaver on Facebook, but I think it was last, which is, I don't know if that was a week after Summit. My weeks are so weird. Her and her husband went live on Facebook for like 5 minutes. And I don't know if you met him at Summit, but he's bigger than Tyler. He's very not, I mean, this is like not his thing. He was super uncomfortable. And she just kind of interviewed him on what he thought about. We watched probably like 10 minutes of it, and then we lost service, and then we never went back to it. But I did hear the part where at the end he just said, "I'm just so proud of her."
Mm-hmm.
And you remember from our call with her, but her goal is to retire him from his job because it's very physically demanding as well as time demanding. Like they never see him. So I'm trying to work up the courage to do something similar. But I think it would be even like an interesting thing to include on one of like our coaching event nights. Like that spousal objection, if you will.
I was just looking back at my notes here, but like the other thing that I reread and probably why I got started this week getting my head back in the game was I can't say her last name. Tara Bialik, is that how you say it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know who you mean though.
And Megan Tucker were up there together, and they said just start music on. Who can I lift up today? And one day at a time, just think about helping others. And that's like during the hard times, what am I grateful for right now? And those things I don't think about. Like that's not the first thing that comes to my head. It's get the work done, and I need to turn that around.
I was actually I spoke on Sarah Rice's team call this morning from my car in the rain in my pajamas. But they wanted me to talk about how I do my power hour, and like I had to I'm like, note, I didn't do it like a whole power hour for like almost 3 weeks because Sarah was just praising me for my consistency, and I'm like, I have to fess up. Like I hit Success Club 8, should have been 10 by like almost like luck. I mean, it wasn't because it was business I had done and trust I had built a long time ago. And I'm going to see that hiccup down the road for sure. But they just kind of wanted me to go through like my process and what I do and whatever. And then I was explaining like how I do it and in the order I do it. And Terry had a question about how do you find 15 new people to friend every day? And what do they think? And what if they say, I don't know you? And I said, the reason I quit working my business 3 weeks ago, or for those 3 weeks, was because like I kind of like just didn't even know who else to contact, and it was just getting so overwhelming. And then when I went to Summit and realized that I am a gift, I have a gift to give to people, and if I lead with my heart, I'm not going to feel icky about it, and they're not going to think I'm icky. And so ever since then, it's been much different for me, and it's been fun again because I sit down and I've only had 2 people ever say like, why are you friending me? And then when I explained, one person said I was crazy, and everyone else is like, that is so nice of you. And I just think about like what I could do for them instead of what they could do for me. And the same thing with when I'm doing my 20 connects. That's a lot of people to connect with every day. I just put my phone on airplane mode, and I set my computer on my timer for 10 minutes, and I go through my news feed, and I say like out loud, who needs to hear from me today? And an example was yesterday, it was a mom who I have no clue who she is, but she was having issues with co-parenting. And I have no advice to give on co-parenting. My parents didn't co-parent. I just said, I'm praying for you. And I added her to my prayer list. And she's like, thank you so much. I definitely need them. And it has nothing to do with a sale for me or adding them to a group. I just think it's my job to be the light. And so that's what I did. And it totally changed the way I feel about my power hour. So that kind of reminds me of that too.
Another reason why I think that is I've been going through, Lindy knows this and Stacy knows this, but there is a gal at work that is just like, she has a beef with me for some reason. And I work very closely with her, like in the same office, 10 feet away from her. And she has been nothing but nasty and ignored me for 2 weeks since I came back. And she does this every time I go on vacation. I can't figure it out and whatever. And so this week, I'm just like, why do I even care? First of all, I just need to pray for her and her problems, because obviously she has something that's causing her to pick one person to take it out on, because I didn't do anything to her. But like who can you lift up today? Who can you be positive for? Like, who can you show that there is a way out of not being happy? Like, look outside the box. What else can they have in their life to make them get out of that spot that I was in and felt the same way? Like, I was a bitch. I was bitchy before this. Whoever knew me before knew that. My husband knew it. Lindy, you probably knew it. I was bitchy. And I'm sure that sometimes I can get that way again, but I'm not that person anymore. And so I know people out there need that. And if this is what it takes for them to get it, I just have to share that part. So that was my inspiration this week, was show people like her that she doesn't have to live that way.
Keep doing you. Amy Crope says, do you, boo. We even got said that. Amanda, did you have a favorite part? Other than
I kind of in the same boat as Jen. Like, I loved everything. I really got a lot out of Darren Hardy. And I had to look it up on my phone because I couldn't remember the exact quote, but my favorite one of his was, your adversity is your advantage. Your past has developed muscles, not wounds. I don't know. I feel like I was dealt a really shitty hand in life some days. And then other times I'm like, people have it way worse than me, like whatever. It is what it is. But for so long, I just felt so sorry for myself, and I was just annoyed with how my life was and the background that I had growing up. And that quote just kind of like, it spoke to me like, yeah, just get over it, You're stronger because of all the crap you've gone through. And I realized that. But some days you kind of have a pity party. My days kind of were like years of pity party.
like that one too. And he's the one too that said, I think you said also you liked the success is not owned. You pay rent
Yes.
every day.
Rent is due every day.
I was thinking of it's like a canvas. That's what I had posted. I was thinking of getting it for my workout space.
Yep, I like that one a lot too.
I don't know if you text him or whatever the thing was, but I finally did that today, and he's gonna email me, or not he, but the slides, so I can post them in the team page too. Because he was talking so fast I couldn't even write down all of those truth bombs. Well, and I'm already planning my tattoo for the next trip.
Me too.
Do you know what you want?
No, I have no idea.
I talked to Gretchen at a t-ball game this week, and she had asked about it, and I said, well, we all got tattoos. I said, would you have done that with us? And she goes, no. So I think we can count her out next year. But we've got what 10 months and a couple of weeks to work her over a little bit. We'll see.
You wouldn't have thought I would have either.
You're welcome.
There's 13 of us already.
Holy cow.
Who was the 13th one?
Jen Hansen.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we'd be there all night, Tyler.
No one's going to bed. Okay. Anyone else have? Okay, so those are awesome summit takeaways. That was the part that was missing from our call last time. It was just like so much information about Daily Sunshine and UK launch and the Clean Eating Week and whatever. What about what is working? I don't know if you guys have seen. I posted it in the team page. It's also in our drive. But Kristen sent me before Summit a challenge pack script. And if you have not used that to convert someone from interest to challenge pack, it is golden. Like first thing it leads with was a bunch of questions that they can answer, and then how you can transition into 21-day fixed nutrition, how you can transfer into BOD. Then once they say yes, how to have them pick their Shakeology flavor. It is really good. I used it the day I went from like 0 to 6 in one day, and it wasn't like I was spending all day on the phone. It was just like copy paste, copy paste. It is wonderful. If you have not used it, I suggest using it. And it's like once someone is already interested in a group, walking them through that process so that like you don't leave out any steps. And then also like helps already cover those objections, because when you say like, okay, it's $160 or whatever, and it words it different. It's like, as a coach, I can get you all of this right now for 25% off for like one more month. Kristen gave it to me, but I posted it in the team page and it's in the Google Drive. It's called Challenge Pack Scripts or something. Okay, crap. Whatever, it's awesome. And then if you guys have not picked up this book yet, and like Stacy and I were talking today, I would recommend you actually have the physical book, not the audio book, because the person reading it is terrible. Tyler was going to get it, and he's like, I cannot listen to that person. And I think if you get any audible book from John Maxwell, he would have to read it, not someone else. It's taken me all summer to read it, and not because it's like hard to read, but because I have went back and reread and read. And the idea is basically it helps you figure out what your limiting belief is and what is holding you back from like increasing your capacity in a bunch of areas of life. And it was funny, when I quit reading the book, I was on discipline. And it was like, I didn't even want to hear about it. So I shut the book and didn't read it for like 2 weeks. And then when I came back from Summit, I read the discipline chapter 3 times, and practically the whole chapter is highlighted. But when you start the book, there's a quiz that you can take, and it gives you your 3 lowest and your 3 highest capacities, which is interesting and eye-opening. I actually learned that like 2 of my lower capacities were leadership and people, which was like, but then once I read about it, I'm like, holy shit, John Maxwell knows what he's talking about. So I would really recommend the book. It's expensive because it's only in hardcover, but it's very good, and I think it's one I'll go back to. If you've noticed, like every morning I try to put up a quote. It's coming from that book, and I could probably do that for 365 days. I have so many ones that have spoke to me from that book. So those are kind of the things that have been working for me this week. Tyler's liking the Gary V books. Anyone else have anything awesome to share?
I think I've told this story, but the one gal that I actually went to her house and met with her and her sister and mom and whatever, she was just really lagging and having depression issues and whatever. And I challenged her in the last week to really think about, why she said yes. And so we've been doing an accountability thing through Snapchat, which is actually kind of fun. And so she's snapping me every time she gets a workout in, and she has gone like a full week. And that's not something that she's done before. And so she's actually going to sign up for Discount Coach, and she's doing it. So I'm excited for her. That was a big win for me the last few weeks because I've been working hard with her. Just didn't give up. So. Oh, and my dad's drinking Shakeology. What? My dad, who was like a huge skeptic about everything that I do, is drinking Shakeology. So
My dad had a really good health report since drinking it. So get your parents to drink it.
my next goal is to get him as a discount coach.
We might have to work on one. We can talk about that. All right. Well, we're going to get cut off, but thank you everyone for hopping on. My night is for sure better because of all of you.
Hope Tegan feels better.
Thank you. Okay, have a good week, you guys. Love everyone.
Bye, Chris. Nice to see you.